Good afternoon, everyone. So today I will be presenting on topic of origin of DNA and information. I would be it will be very big presentation, just 7 minute presentation. So very quick. We'll just go through a couple of questions and what are the notions developed in so far. What are the notions developed in scientific understanding? Before going, I would like to take a small presentation to Sri Varun Agarwalji and Dr. K.D. Singh, who are the directors of Bhaktivedanta Institute. So the first question is, if you want to manufacture or if you want to synthesize a new body, and if you want to come up with a new biological form, how what will be the way to proceed? And so for that we will understand what from the things of what are the existing at present. What are the existing information we have about the functioning of the present bodies? So we know it is the DNA which differentiates between one species to other species. We know as far as scientific understanding it is the DNA, and how DNA is playing role in building up our bodies, different bodies. So there are various sequence of reactions are happening, but the primary one or this sequence from DNA to messenger RNA and messenger RNA to protein. So this translation, so the information stored in DNA in the sequence of DNA is getting translated in building of the protein. And if you just you have a understanding what are the how protein, what is the role of proteins in our body? So it has various functions. It catalyzes many reactions, just like because all the enzymes are surrounded with the proteins, amino acid things, and it also helps in genetic information processing all and various other functions. So for these things, when you want to come up with new biological body, so you need new biological set of information, that is DNA. So next question is, how does new set of biological information is generated on course of history of Earth? So this one from our modern evolution theory, we know it is from random mutations of DNA, and after that there are sequence of selections which are caused by the environmental conditions at various time periods. So next question is, so how probable are these random events? So this was very important question. Actually, in 1996, there was a symposium organized in Wikipedia University. So they have analyzed through mathematical experiments. So I will also present a small mathematical experiment. For example, if you want to, this is combinatorial problem. If you want to open for example, there is a tree and he wants to open the cycle and it locked through this four sequence. So what are the number of possible? There are around 10,000 possibilities. And what is the sequence? Means what is the correct answer? Only correct combination which opens the lock is one. And all the other remaining 9,999, they will not open the lock. So, for example, the thief, if you assume the thief opens the lock of last combination. So, what is the maximum time required for it? If you assume for every combination, then it takes around 10 seconds, then it will come around 28 hours. This is the maximum time required for the person to open the lock. And if you increase the time, instead of 4, if it is 10, so how much time? So the time increases exponentially because for 10 times the number of combinations he has to raise 10 to the power of 10. This is the maximum number of possibilities. So for that, with the same assumptions, if we go, it will take around 2,000 years approximately. So why we done this small exercise? Because the protein, from the the protein sequence is generated from the transcription and transcription process. So the protein has specific amino acids and we all know what are proteins made up of? They are made up of amino acids joined to peptide bonds. So, but the sequence is important. The information of DNA is get translated in the sequence of proteins. Next question is whether whether this much time was available on history of Earth to try out for evolving all biological forms today we are observing. This is the next. So it seems that so for example, we will see in our body there are many proteins. This one we are taking example of E. coli, one single cell bacteria. So for that, it is estimated from mathematics around 220 proteins are 320 amino acid strands are required. So for our simply understanding purpose, we will take around 150 combinations. So for each amino, there are around 20 amino acids. So for each sequence, there are 20 combinations possible. For each 150 sequence, so the number of combinations possible is around 20 to the power of 150. That is in the order of around 195. So from these 10 to the power of 195 combinations, how many functional proteins can evolve? This is the next question. So if you see, so for initially people in 1970s and 1980s, they have assumed okay, if we have this many number of combinations, maybe many are doing the same function. So this was one assumption to adjust the thoughts to how to explain. But later on, there was one scientist from USA, Professor X. So he studied about this protein force in E. coli, and in this paper he has published the results. So he has shown that in this each of his results are like so for each 10 to the power of 77 combinations, only one functional protein is thermodynamically mixed. They are stable. It has stable three-dimensional structure. And from the so it means out of 10 to the power of 77 combinations, only one protein is forming the stable structure. And another way is to see what is the sequence to understand is around 10 to the power of 65 atoms are active. So you can understand in the how much time it might be required to try out this probability to work out. And mathematically, and it is roughly estimated from the planetology records, around 10 to the power of 40 organisms are evolved and means they have existed for little bit and it is mathematically calculated, but it's not. So even if we consider that, so the overwhelming probability is like 10 to the power of 40 out of 10 to the power of 77. So it's still 10 to the power of minus 37. So for the what's the to evolve for one functional protein, this much low probability we have if we try out all the combinations. And because of this things, there are many schools of thoughts of evolution has evolved, and there are various they are dealing with many different kinds of problems. And to actually see to understand in simple words what is the, for example, if you have a simple English sentence, I had lunch. If you add this, how many words you have? I, 1, 3, and 5. 9. You have 9 letters. But you can arrange them in 9 factorial combinations, right? But only one combination will give you proper meaning to the sentence. So it means that as you try more and more combinations, these actually informational theories. So the idea is that if you try out these combinations, combinatorial type, as you try more combinations, you actually lose more information. The meaning is actually invariably destroyed. For example, I had lunch. So if you arrange some combinations, you exchange even two words, HAD, DAX, so you have the meaning is getting lost. So it means the information, meaning is the information in our abstraction, the information is getting lost. So actually, all these questions actually are borrowed from his PhD thesis. He is Stephen C. Mayer. So he actually is he did a PhD from Cambridge University. So he actually, as background in molecular biology, is trying to study the history and things also. So from his, he has examined the scientific method from experimental science, from experimental brain science, where we can actually do reproducible results. But the evolution is not like we can reproduce in lab. We cannot evolve because the time that we have for doing experiment and all the experimental technical conditions, all these things, because of these limitations, it is the nature of scientific approach is different for studying the evolution. So he tells it's actually the truths that are beyond the evidence we have before us that to probable causes may actually explain what would be said. So he has focused in his thesis on one problem, Cambrian explosion. So what is Cambrian explosion? So around 530 million years ago, all of a sudden there are many life forms that come into existence on Earth. So how they have come is there are many mysteries during that period. So to give it simple layman understanding, we can take one printer. Nowadays you have all have Wi-Fi printer, right? So, but what the printing machine prints, if you want to analyze the information that is printed on the pages, analyzing all the components of the printer, you cannot get that. Because why? The information, each pages has to be printed, the PDF will actually send through computer or mobile phone, whichever device you want. So the information has come from other device and printer is executed in its manifested. So with this analogy, you can see actually how the information is different from the device. You cannot ever get to know what the information is printed on the pages by analyzing the printer. Right? It's very clear. So it means in the Cambrian explosion also it tells. In the Cambrian explosion also it tells that actually to really mathematically to fit these things, it seems that it is improbable, mathematically improbable, because I have in my presentation I have actually removed all the stereochemical aspects, all these things. We can this example we can understand information is coming from somewhere. So it forms a case for science, a case for intelligent design. And there is one more scientist, Fred Hoyle. He says that the genetic information actually comes from outside the system, from somewhere else altogether, for example, or to extend the evolution. Just like the information of PDF is coming, for the printer is coming from different devices, from outside of the. So, if you would like to know more about this topic or you would like to explore, you can go through these books. And I would like, there was one more recent publication from Butler and Institute where James also presented. I was presented only for proteins, but he has presented for nucleic acids, carbohydrates, all the food, lipids, everything. You can go through his article in this release of something, and he tells that information is primary and matter is secondary. So I would, with that, I would like to acknowledge my mentors and my friends, and thank you for your kind attention.